formal bail application for the 8th accused in the University of Fort Hare hate list case, Pelisa Nkonyeni, has been moved to the 4th of September. That's next week, Monday. Accused number 6, Lindokuhle Manjati, the police officer suspected of crimes linked to the deaths of the University of Fort Hare staff, will be back in court on the 1st of September for arguments. Now, eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda is joining us now with the latest. Tell us what transpired in court earlier today. Ronald, good afternoon. Welcome to today. So tell us what happened in court today.
Good afternoon, Pradan. Well, Pelisa Nkonyeni made her first court appearance. She is the wife of police officer Lindokuhle Manjati, and they appeared together in the dock. But much of the day was spent by the investigating officer giving evidence as to how Manjati was linked to these crimes. It's believed that he has been a close associate of the alleged hitman in this case, 2 men from KwaZulu-Natal. We also heard that the police officer grew up in KwaZulu-Natal, and it was easy for him to make those people work for them. But what we also heard is that there is evidence to suggest that Manjati was behind these murders together with the people that he was working with. There are cell phone records that the court will be presented, as well as money transfers between all the different parties. And Manjati, what we also heard was he played an instrumental role in showing around the 2 alleged hitmen, Mthobisi Dlamini and Mthobisi Nkonyeni, when they were here earlier this year following the death of Mboneli Vesele, the bodyguard of Vice-Chancellor Sakela Buhlungu. This is what the investigating officer had to say earlier.
At Joslov area, suspect told that he does not know precise place where CPO resides, but he met with him at Skomfora scrapyard. Members withdrew from locating CPO. At 22:15, members proceeded to Amantintoti to trace and locate Zimele as per suspect directions, Your Worship. Thank you.
You appreciate that this version again comes for the first time in this process.
Your Worship, I don't know how many times you're going to ask me. As I told you, that hence I don't have my notes. I cannot be precise. But you asked me to bring the notes. Yes, you will hear a new version because the notes is what I've recorded at that particular time.
Did you understand my question?
I'm replying to your question. I don't want you to say I'm not replying to you. You know.
But the question is, you appreciate that we're hearing this for the first time again in this process?
That is correct, Your Worship.
Ronald, we understand there's 8 people suspected to be involved in these crimes. Are more arrests expected?
Yes, according to the investigating officer, there will be more arrests made. They are actually after a suspect whom they believe was also playing a huge role in these assassination attempts at the University of Fort Hare. But there are contradicting statements made both by the National Prosecuting Authority as well as those who know the Manjati, saying that there is someone who could possibly have been killed since that they've been after him. But we are yet to verify that information, Pradan. But what we also know is that witnesses, it is feared that if Manjati is granted bail, that the police officer may take out some of the witnesses that are expected when this case goes on trial. But for now, we are expecting more arrests, but the police are keeping mum. They're saying that the investigation will continue as according to plan, but 8 people have been appearing in court, both here in Dimbaza as well as the Alice Magistrates Court, and we're expecting, hopefully, according to the state, that the trial can take place soon.
That it was abandoned 3 kilometers or 5 kilometers away from the crime scene, Your Worship. It's a jeep that Mthobisi Nkonyeni's fingerprints and Mthobisi Dlamini were uplifted, Your Worship. And the applicant himself, he says he knows Mthobisi Nkanyeni, worship. It is not a coincidence, your worship, that Mthobisi Nkanyeni is from Amlazi, where the applicant, your worship, grew up with him, your worship. And also, the other accused, your worship, in their confession, were mentioning, your worship, that the hitmen, your worship, were organized from Umtata, your worship. The applicant before court, your worship, is a link between Umtata, your worship, at the stage and KZN, your worship. The sixth accused, it's his cousin, your worship. The other hitman that is still at large, your worship, is his cousin, your worship. Mthobisi Nkanyeni, your worship, is his friend, your worship. I don't know, your worship. Those are the dots that connects the applicant, your worship, and this horrific crime that have been committed, your worship.
Well, still